We may have to rewrite the history of the first cultural exchanges between China and Europe. It is possible that before 1262, when Marco Polo traveled to what the whole continent still thought of as a known world, there had been other contacts between Italy and Oriental traditions and ideas. This is the theory of Franco Arcovito, a civil engineer from Messina, who is convinced that the most tangible sign of this reading of events lies in one of the most enigmatic and frequently examined pieces of architecture in Italy, Castel Del Monte at Andria. According to Arcovito, the castle was octagonal shape, has been the subject of much academic inquiry over the centuries, gives proof of the contacts between China and Frederick II of Sweden, who was the driving force behind the building of the castle in about 1240. The theory is that the castle's shape and all other unusual geometrical figures inside it derive from the application of an ancient Chinese art, which can harmoniously combine elements of nature and buildings. Feng Shui.
Feng Shui, that ancient technique for dialogue with one's surroundings and with the energy belonging to the elements and to space, to achieve an interaction which leads to their perfect equilibrium with man. Feng Shui means wind and water, and it is a technique which was originally applied for the choice of the best sites for the houses of the dead. An expert, a Feng Shui master, is able to find you a position where there's a natural system of energy, a balance where, according to the theory, a person can rest in peace for centuries. This art, whose origins go back 3,000 or 4,000 years, has, over the centuries, altered its aim and has moved towards the study of the houses of the living. That is to say, it is used to create environments, houses, buildings, and situate them in places where there is just this balance of energy, this serenity of the elements. We could define it as a positive connection between the elements. It has gradually spread over the whole world from its place of origin. Now, why did Castel Del Monte, which is in Apulia, arouse the interest of someone from Messina? Well, first of all, Frederick II of Swabia was king of both Sicily and Apulia. We know quite a bit about his childhood in Palermo. Also, we know that in Messina, for instance, he kept an important harem, which was precious to him. What's more, before him, his uncle Richard, known as Lionheart, had been in Messina and stayed there for about a year before he left for the Third Crusade.
Far pensare non tanto al Feng Shui, ecco perché non è solo una questione di forma, ma che può riportarci.
There still exists something in Messina today, the fortress called Rocca Guelfonia, which reminds us not so much of Feng Shui, but which leads us back to Frederick II of Swabia and his significantly multidisciplinary approach. Signs of this approach can be found in many parts of the world, but the most significant one is, at least in my view, Castel del Monte. So I constructed a novel around it, a historical novel, but it's quite readable. At least that's what people who've read it tell me. It's already been translated into English. In fact, we took it to the International Book Fair in Frankfurt in October. And just now a translator is working on a version in German.
questo momento c'è una persona che sta traducendolo in tedesco.